All right, we on for another episode at the Black Nationalist channel. What I want to go right ahead and talk about is there is another Me Too inspired witch hunt. Is for the NFL ex-girlfriends about surviving abuse. This is, you can go and visit this on TMZ. As you can see in the photos, those are some of the ladies that are supposed to be involved with it. You have LaShawn McCoy, who is a football player, and with him, he was with a young lady. Her last name is Corden, and she is the one who said that he paid someone to come and break into the house that they was living at in Atlanta to try to get her out. However, it is stated that McCoy constantly denies this accusation, and he went so far as to put an alarm inside of the house as a security system. Okay, so her name is Delicia, Delicia Corden. All right, that's her name. All right, the next individual is Evelyn Lozada, and we all know about her. Basically, she was with that gentleman, Chad Okochino or something like that. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing his name, but with her, she filed a divorce 6 weeks later after he headbutted her during an argument. And I remember that she was on some Basketball Wives show or whatever the case may be. And she was talking about the situation, I believe. But again, it could have happened. I'm not sure. But that's one of the ladies that's supposed to be involved, because according to TMZ, that it was her. Let's see here. TMZ Sports says that they have learned that Miss Corden, along with Evelyn, Jose Harris, and Sanchez, they were working together on a TV project about surviving abuse. Now, here's the updates. There was one at 7:30 a.m., of course, Pacific time. Evelyn, she says that she was contacted by the producers and had discussions about joining the show, but ultimately turned down their offer to appear in the program. There was another one at 10:31 a.m. Miss Corden, she also denies involvement with the show. Still, their production source tells them that the producers still plan on moving forward with the project. The last one was at 4:02 p.m. A rep for Josie Harris says that she is not connected with the project. All right, so here's the thing that I want to mention. Why is it that these two, especially individuals, Evelyn and Delicia, TMZ Sports says that the other four ladies, that they were working on a TV project that is talking about surviving abuse, because they were told that the series was inspired by surviving R. Kelly, and the producers are still looking for other women to join the project. Okay? And the producers are currently speaking with TV networks and other digital media outlets in hope of making a deal. Here is my problem. You should not have to dig around in order for you to see, okay, what other black men, what other black NFL player that went on ahead and abused their woman. All right, so if you want football players that, abuse their woman and you want them to talk about it, here's some white ones. We have Julian Edelman. He's accused of touching a woman inappropriately. We have Richie Incognito, accused of sexual battery with a gold club. We have Bruce Miller, who is accused of assaulting girlfriend and breaking her phone. And we have Johnny Manziel, who is accused of hitting his girlfriend. So I have others as well, but I'm not about to go right ahead and try to pronounce their last names. But there are white NFL players that abuse their girlfriends, their wives. As a matter of fact, there is a Josh Brown. He admitted to domestic violence. He admitted to them in letters, emails, and also in his personal journal, but he was put on paid leave back in November 23rd of 2016. See, these producers, they could go right ahead and get these white NFL players, but see, they're not going to do that. Why? Because we all know that white people, they have a code. They always want to make sure that they put the black man as the face, as the predator, as him being dangerous, and as him being savages, and as him being sexual deviants. And we know that that is not the case. And to have these four women who TMZ Sports came out and said that they have learned about them, that they was working on this TV project, but yet for some odd reason we get the latest updates that, oh, they're pulling back from it. I wonder why. Was it because the price wasn't right? Or was it because I know with Miss Corden, they're still in a legal bind? So maybe that could be an issue. Don't know. Because right now they're trying to figure out how to go about who was supposed to get the house down in Atlanta. You see, Tarana Burke, she started something. It could have been in the best interest in 2006 on MySpace. In one of the articles she said in the Essence interview. It could have been, but for some reason there is a time gap between her and Alyssa Alano, I believe, who tweeted #MeToo some years later, that it just all of a sudden just took off like wildfire. I cannot find any information that took place that would show like, okay, what was the progress? What did she do? Who did she meet? Who is she being backed by? I could not find any of those things, and I have tried. This is why I say this Tarana Burke, she is an agent. I mean, look at Tarana Burke. Now, I know that there are some of us, who may not be attractive. I'm not going to say that I'm attractive, and I'm not. But if you know that you're not an attractive person, you don't want to make it so hard upon yourself to the point that no one wants to be around you, that not only will they call your soul ugly, they will call you ugly. Because her actions, it has really sparked a fire to destroy our black men. However, you have white men that has done the same exact crime or more, and yet these TV producers are not going around looking for them. No, they are going around looking directly at black NFL players. That is exactly what they are doing. And then for them to do this, and it just goes to show you how these people do not value black men at all. They do not value black men. They don't value their life. They look at them as being expendable. This is why I go against, like I said in my previous video about abortions that is going on in our black community. You are killing our soldiers. We need soldiers. You over here want to talk about black women. You want to talk about that we don't have men who protect us. That's because you're killing them. Instead of over here trying to commit this type of crime against your own child, and it all goes back to responsibility, being accountable for your actions. You're destroying what we can have, a nice army. Also, it is very important. It goes back to what Malcolm X was talking about with the black nationalists, that what it meant, building our own black economy, building our own businesses, making sure that that money stays inside of our business. However, we have allowed other groups of people to come in and to set up shop and take our money. And we do it willfully. Because if we would have had our own, we would be able to have our own production companies that could be able to counter back this assassination that is happening on our black men. It's day after day after day, there is something new to attack straight black men. It does not matter. They are going after our straight black men. The white people, white supremacists, they are making sure that they repaint that black men, they are the most savages and that they are deadly. And this is going to give them the excuse to continue to gun down our black men in the streets. Also our black women too, and children. None of us can escape them. But we all know who is their main target, and that is black men. Why? Because if you look at, have you ever taken the time to take a step back and you see a tall, dark-skinned black man, or he may not be tall, but your average height? Have you ever just taken the time to sit back and you look at that black man and you see strength and power and masculinity? This is something that they envy. This is something that white men envy. Because when you look at a white man, yeah, he could be strong, but you don't see it in him unless he exerts it. Black men have so much power. This is why this system has done everything and continues to do everything to destroy them. And this is why it is our responsibility, especially as black women, that we come out and that we be there on the side of our men. We used to be that way before we have left the civil rights to join the feminist and accepting welfare. Like I said from the very beginning about my channel, I'm going to be addressing everything, but in particular black women. Why? Because we need to have more voices of black women who are sound and who are stable and who is going to be willing to go against the grain. I have no problem going against the grain. Why? Because I have always done so. This attack on our black men, I am tired of it. I have a father, I have a brother, I have an uncle, I have a host of cousins. You don't think that I don't worry about them? Like, okay, did my dad make it home? Did my brother make it home to his wife? Because the moment that the black man steps out his house, he has a target on his back. And that's why, like I said in my previous video of a role of a woman, like I was taught, you do not use your hands to destroy your house. You be that haven for your husband, because that man, especially a black man, he has to deal with all type of oppression and racism, especially on the job. And the last thing that he needs when he comes home is to be dealing with a wife who wants to fight him or a girlfriend that wants to fight him. Bring up old mess. Now we are seeing these people. They are profiting off of our distress. We are allowing them to profit off of our distress. If this doesn't tell you how easily black women, I'm going to say this, not black woman, because there's honor in being a woman. But if this doesn't show you how easily these black females can be bought off, then you cannot sit up and tell me that, oh, black females back in the late 60s was not so easily fooled. No, because you're showing right now how easily you could just go to the side, the wayside, and just destroy your own people. The minute that these producers came to you, you should have turned them down. Or at least say, hey, are we going to have some white people on here as well? But you won't do that. You want to take pride after tearing down this black man. And I'm going to tell you something. You make it your job to look like some $3 back alley whore to get inside of his pants once he got the money. And then you want to go and you know exactly who I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the black woman who is doing her thing. She is being a lovely lady. She is working and she is doing everything that she is supposed to do as an adult. I'm talking about you ignorant terminatrix. That's who I'm talking about. I am talking about the ones who wants to sit up and want to act an ass every single day. Every single day. You know, you want to you find that, okay, since you don't have any workable skills, so the only skills that you know is to show your ass literally or your tits literally in order to get some simp to come and say, hey, look at me, instead of actually using your brain. And I'm not talking about oral, I'm talking about what is inside of your scalp upstairs. That's what I'm talking about. Inside your dome up there, where all of your thinking process, all of it that is up there, that's what I'm talking about. But no, you will spend thousands of dollars just to doll yourself up, just to get in front of a black man who has money so that you can live the good life. But see, the thing is, you don't even take the time to vet him, because who is to say that he truly is a woman beater? Who is to say that he truly is? But see, you allow money to blind you to the point that you want to forget every other signals that surround him. Look, we have plenty of black men who thinks like black women. Why? Because look, we are at 76% of single mothers household. So we should expect for a lot of black men to grow up and to behave as women in so many words. Because men, they don't know how to control their anger, especially if they live under a household that is dominated by women. And I'm sure that they must have seen their mothers and sisters when they faced a problem. The first thing they did is that they called up their friend and said, "Hey, meet me outside," and then fists start swinging. And so in their mind, they're like, okay, so this is how you take care of a situation, instead of trying to calm down in a fight or something that can lead into a shootout. This is a problem here. This is a problem. It all goes back to our training. This is a major problem. We are now facing continuing assassination against our black men. They are able to get and find black females who would be like, yes, hey, I would do this story. Yes, just pay me. I mean, look, they even did these old hoes over here. I know, especially Evelyn. Okay, she been on so many reality TV shows. It's like, girl, I mean, you should know already to make sure that your paper is stacked to the point that you don't need to do anything like this. Why would you even think about this in the first place, only to retract and say, never mind, I don't want to do this? Why would you even want to do that in the first place? And as well as the other ladies too. It's like, come on, do you not have any decency? Do you not have any decency? That's all I want to know. Where did it go? Okay, and we all know, like I said, these producers, like, they even said that they are going to continue to look for women who wants to talk to them. So they are going to continue to look for women who can freaking just lie outright and just say, hey, we're going to do this show. Just like what they did with that Surviving R. Kelly garbage. Just like what they did with that garbage. It's despicable. It is a shame that we are seeing this. And our black women, we need to stop being silent about this and seeing our men being publicly lynched. They are being assassinated, and yes, those physically, but right now their character, everything that makes up about a black man, it is being destroyed right now. And I'm tired of it. And I'm not a black man, but I have black men in my family who I love and adore. And to see this, it is a reflection, and not only just that, it could affect me and my family. The last thing I want to hear is that my father is like, oh, he gets stopped by a cop and he complies and that's what he does, and you have some trigger happy cop that put bullets in him. I mean, who wants to have that over their head? But yet you have these white men who does the same exact crime and they get away with it and they are silent. Again, this is why I really wish that everyone, not wish, but encourage everyone to attack Tarana Burke intellectually. Not physically. I would never, ever be for that. But attack her intellectually. Give her proof. Give her facts. Put the ball in her court. Force her to see the errors of her ways. I know I do. When I make my response on social media, I make sure that I have documents to prove that what she is doing is wrong. And not only just that's basically questioning her psyche. Like, what is really going on with you? What is your motive? What is it that you're getting out of this? What is it that you are receiving? You're receiving something, even though your net worth is not apparent on anything that I could find on the internet. You're receiving something. But see, the thing is, she's only looking at the now instead of later. Because see, white supremacy, they think so many years ahead, centuries ahead. By the time we catch up, it's too late. It's too late. These people are going to turn on her, and little do they realize that the mess that they are doing right now, it will backfire. Because guess what? You continue to push black men into a corner, they are going to have no other choice but to lash out. I am so thankful and so happy that there are black men that are speaking and that they are allowing their voices to be heard, and we should continue to encourage them to do so. But this garbage, this NFL ex-girlfriend about surviving abuse, hey, like I said, I gave out some names. Some white NFL players who sexually and physically abused their girlfriends, their wives. I'm not hearing anything about them. So if they continue to go through this, I'm going to make sure that I do my part to say, okay, what about him? What about him? I don't want to hear from like what Tarana Burke said, it's not my job to go after them, to go after white men. It is your job. Because see, you created Me Too on the premise of going after after men who sexually abuse women, and you also said black woman. You see, that was where you made your mistake. You said that you was going after men who sexually assaulted women, and also especially black women. Now, if you wanted to just make it about black woman, period, then you should not have said in one of your interviews, in essence, that you was going after men who sexually abused women. You should not have done that. You should not. And not only just that, you should not have allowed what you have created be hijacked. Because see, white women, they have took it upon themselves to say, okay, now let's go ahead and further perpetuate our hatred for black men. Because remember, Gloria Steinem, she said how much she had a hatred for black men. However, she used Michelle Wallace, a black feminist, who probably also ghostwrited a book about how she hated black men and how much she found Harriet Tubman repulsive. So they see, these white feminists, they're continuing on that thought process. And all they was waiting for was a black woman who had the same equally hate for black men. And they found her. And her name is Tarana Burke. Tarana Burke, she is a poison to the black community. She want to sit up and think that she is doing a good job. No, she is not. She is destroying our community. Whatever thread that we had of unity, she is working hard to cut it. And unfortunately, I think it's already there, because we have too many of our black women that's going against black men and becoming, it's now we are enemies. It should not be so easy for these white people to find black women to say, hey, I want you to speak against your black man, and do it without no questions asked. It should not be that easy, because you see how white women, they're not going to throw their man under the bus, even though they know that their men are abusive, are pedophiles, are rapists. They're not going to throw their man under the bus. But we as black women, we will throw our man under the bus as well, put the cement over him as well. We will do that. That's not loyal. That is not being loyal. That's being treasonous. That's being treasonous. And if you feel that what I am saying is to the extreme, deal with it. Just deal with it. I don't sugarcoat anything. Never have and never will. This is something that our women have not heard of in a long time, because the minute that you critique her, you think that she is attacking, you think that she's being attacked when you're not. We should not be having so many stories popping up saying surviving R. Kelly, surviving the NFL. What's next? It's going to be surviving NBA. What's next? It's going to be surviving construction company. Who knows? Who knows? White supremacists, their job is to continue to finish off us black people, period. And they know the best way to do it is black men. Because black men creates families very easily. It's not that hard for a black man to create a child. White men, they have a hard time, and white women has a hard time as well. That's why their population is declining, and that is also why you see this interracial mess that is constantly being put in front of us. Every single day, there's something new to attack our black men. Now, I wonder whatever happened to the Lieutenant Governor Justin Fairfax. For some odd reason, I haven't heard much of that. I have not. I have not heard much of the Meredith Watson, I believe her name is, and the other young lady, who came out with these accusations against him. I just want to know whatever happened to that story, because it seemed like it just died. Do you not see what they are doing here, people? Every day they're throwing up a distraction here. This black man did this. This black man is doing that. This black man is doing this. Oh, let's focus on him for 2 days. Let's focus on this one for 3 days. Let's focus on this one for a week. And then once that steam dies, because people start asking questions, it's like, okay, we got to find a new victim here. We have to find a new one here. These people, white supremacists, they are trying to force us black people, us black American DOS, to accept only 2 options: extermination or forced slavery. We have to realize that these people do not play any games. They are in survival mode. If you have not read upon the history of Europeans, I encourage everyone to go to your local library and just read, pick out they have sections upon sections, rows upon rows about their history. If one thing that I have learned about studying their history is that when white people get into survival mode, you best believe everybody will be destroyed. If they cannot survive, they're going to make sure that everyone around them will not survive either. They have done that before, and they will do it again. And they have no problem doing this again. They have a deep hatred for us black people. They have a deep hatred for our men. They want his masculinity. Why do you think these white women, even during plantation, she would go and sneak into the slave quarters to rape, not to have sex, but to rape our black men? She will always touch him, feel upon him, say, oh, how big and strong you are. Smell him, sniff him. Because she can't get that from her men. She can't. What she does know is that her man will use a gun to exert his power. But when it comes to, just regular combat, it won't happen. Our black men are not just sex objects. They're not. Our black men are strong, intelligent, critical thinking brothers. They have built for us before, and they continue to build for us. It's just that it does not get recognized. And our black women as well. I do not want to exclude that. We really need to get on the ball with this here. We really need to start saying, okay, what do we need to do individually to start doing a counter attack against this assassinations on our black men and our straight black men. They're not looking at the gay black men because they view them as, you're already emasculated, so I don't need you. I need you to push our LGBT agenda. That's about it. That's about it. So yeah, this is all that I want to talk about this evening. I may have something to talk about tomorrow. Well, I mean, I already have something to talk about, but depending upon how I feel tomorrow after the gym, I may put up a video. I do hope that everyone has enjoyed this video as well. Have a good evening.